Okay, hello everyone. Today I would like to talk about uh, one experience or one something I've thought a lot about the Canadian market because a couple of years ago, when I started to manage my own investment for my ISP account, then of course I Google it, I search it, and try to to learn a little bit how should I do, right? Because I never managed my own investment portfolio before. So when I search and browse the internet, I think I got interested in it's called dividend growth investment strategy. Actually, this is one. It's very. I would not say it's popular, but I think this strategy has a very long history. It's at least more than like 70 years ago. It's people already use this strategy to most likely. I believe it's the individual investors try to follow this strategy to manage their investment. So this is not something new or a secret. I would like to see this is a very old strategy, has a long history, and most of the small investor, especially the individual investor, will use this strategy. For the big investor, I don't know, but for the professional service provider, of course, they don't want you to use this strategy. The reason is very simple: they cannot charge you. So when I study when I get a little bit more information, a little bit more, familiar with the investing and the stock market. So obviously, because I'm located in Canada, so I check the stock in the Canadian markets, and one thing I I found out and really surprised me is the Canadian the banking stocks. Uh, the first reason is very simple because for some reason in the past 150 years, the Canadian banks, for some reason, they always make money. They always make more money. They never missed one dividend because I just mentioned that I started the dividend growth strategy. So obviously, I was searching for a stock which has a good record for the dividend um, history. Then what happened is I, I found out the Canadian banks have been paying the dividend since almost 100 years ago. And I think except BMO missed once, and all the other four big guys, they never missed one dividend. They always increase the dividend. And so actually one thing really upset me is I find out the year I moved to Canada, if I invest my first year's salary into TD Bank, which is my checking bank, then today the total return is higher than the total my my salary income. This really upset me because I working so hard. I work 8 hours, 7, 8 hours a day for many years, and the income I receive less than the investment of the my first year's salary capital. The investment return, just say you invested 1 year salary, and this is the total return you get. And honestly, this is really pissed me off because you know what? I thought I made a big mistake for my life because I've been struggling, for so many years, trying to pay my mortgage, pay my car, the lease, a monthly payment, and I try to save a little bit of money for my ISP account. And all the effort, all the sacrifice still cannot give me a good result. Just like many other typical office people, you work in office for so many years, you still concerned about your retirement, you worry about your financial uh, problems. So, and I look at the Canadian banks, and I said it to many times to all my friends. No matter who you are, as long as you are in Canada, you purchase Canadian bank stocks, hold it for a long term, then you will become a millionaire. It doesn't matter which bank you invest. It doesn't matter which price you pay to purchase the stocks. You will be a millionaire. This is something, I started about this a lot. Because this tells me every Canadian citizen in the lifetime have an opportunity to become a millionaire by investing Canadian banks. But you know what? Seems that nobody told me. When I opened a checking account with TD, there's nobody told me that, hey, guys, you're so young, if you try to save, work hard, save a little bit and invest in TD banks, then one day you will become a millionaire. Nobody told me that. Even my friend who introduced me to TD Bank, he didn't mention this at all. So I always, say many times I'm thinking about this a lot. Why in Canada, let's say in the past 50 years, no matter how what is your salary level, because most of us say you save a little bit for your ISP, for your pension, whatever. The money you saved, if you invest in any Canadian banks, after about like 15, 20 years, you will become a millionaire. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much is your salary. You are guaranteed to become a millionaire. This is how, it makes, when I find out this, it really make me think about this a lot. And I also try very hard. I read all the books and I did a lot of search on the internet, try to find out why. I want to know why. Because if you look at our neighbor, US, some banks are doing good. Some banks have, failed bankrupt, and it happens all the time. But in Canada, the top 5 guys, they hold more than 90% of market share in the Canadian banking service industry. And for more than 100 years, or maybe let's just talk about after the Second World War. So for the past 60 years, every one of them making more and more money. And anyone invests in any bank will become a millionaire. Then the question is, why I didn't do it? Why you didn't do it? Okay, so if I go to TD website, right, they have information available about their stocks. If you look at this, the shareholder performance, dividend history, Like almost 20 years ago, the quarterly, okay, so I think this is not quarterly. So let's say this is the annual dividend. For each share, it paid like 28 cents about 20 years ago. And today, because this is 2017 and now is 2018, they increased the dividend by 12% last quarter. So it's around $2.50. So this is about 11% annualized growth, which is not bad. But you know what? It's also not like a superstar, like a growth stocks that can get more than like 18, 20% a year. And if you look at the RBC, there's another bank, and they at their corporate website, you can find out the history. So again, now the quarterly dividend is 94 cents. Then in 2000 is 15 cents. And you can see almost every year they never missed any dividend. Most time they increased. Of course, during the big recession, they don't increase the dividend. However, they will keep the dividend. And after recession, somehow they always increase. So I don't want to talk about too much about uh, the why this happened, but I just want to let you think. Being a Canadian, in the past 100 years, every Canadian had one opportunity to become a millionaire. From scratch, from zero, you can become a millionaire by investing in Canadian banks. Of course, this doesn't mean you will guarantee, promise you will happen in the future, but at least you need to spend some time to think about why in the past 50 years, 100 years, every Canadian can become a millionaire from scratch, from zero, by investing in Canadian banks. This is a question you need to think about. This is also a reason why you need to learn, try to teach yourself, educate yourself how to invest.